Stampers, another video tutorial coming at you. This is the second video for November Stamp Club. We did Christmas themed cards, but instead of focusing on a stamping technique, we focused on 2 card fold techniques. So the first one was the screen card, and you can go back on the blog or the YouTube channel and find the video for that as well. And this one is the second one. Flip-flop card. I'm really not sure what to call it, or a double flap card. But let me show you what we're going to make. This is what we're making. So it's using those Thinlit dies, the cards, snowflake card Thinlit, but we're going to do a double. How cool is that? So let me show you how to do that. So first off, you're going to need a base, and your base needs to fit inside your Thinlit. So no matter if you're using the snowflake, the labels, or the circle, you're going to need a piece that's 9 3/4 by 5 7/16. 5 7/16 by 9 3/4. Okay, and then what I did, I already pre-cut these. We're going to need some mats or some coloring to the sides. We're going to add this before we run it through the Big Shot, and you'll see why. So what I've got, I use the Marina Mist. I've got 2 of them. They're 1 15/16 by 5 3/8. And then to layer this on top, we've got 1 13/16 by 5 1/4. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let me grab my snail, is put these together. And this is using, it's sticking. For this club, you might have heard me mention in the other video, if you've watched the other tutorials, that we're using the Visions of Santa stamp set and the DSP that goes with it. And this is not cooperating. I'll figure that out later, and I'll grab another one. And I'll grab that in a second to show you the full pack of DSP. Santa and Co. DSP. So we're using this guy in here, the little mountains. And we used this one and then these trees over here. So that's why I chose the black cardstock for the base, just to make that a little easier. Okay, so we've got one of those done. Let's get the second one all done. Now with this DSP, I want to know which side is up. With some of the patterns for the DSP, like if you were to use the backing, it's not going to matter which side is up and which side is down. But for this guy, I want my mountains face up. So pay attention to where you're snailing, if this is the case, if your pattern needs to go in a certain direction. Because what we're going to do is we're going to attach these to either end of our cardstock, and we're going to put snail across the top, down the outside, and across the bottom. So that's key, along the outside. This is a pattern, so I want to make sure this is up. I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to know I have to go bottom, outside, and up. Otherwise, if I put snail on the wrong side, my mountains would be upside down. There we go. So you end up with a little pocket there. And again, this is the right side up, so I'm just going to flip it, and I know I have to go across the bottom, up the outside, and across the top. There we go. And then again, I've got that little pocket. Okay, so we've got this all done. I am going to pull over the Big Shot. My magnetic platform, absolutely fabulous, and my well-loved cutting blades. So what I am using, I'm going to use the Snowflake Thinlit die, and it comes with a ton of stuff. This is a great little pack, and that doesn't want to stick anymore. Burr, snow, joy, 2 snowflakes, banner, tree, heart, and then the actual card itself. They're great little packages. And then we also have 2 different ones. There's the label card that comes with all kinds of pieces as well. And then we've got this circle card. And you can do this with any of them. There's the circle one with all of its little bits. They're great, great packages. And this card technique will work with any of those. I'm going to put my Thinlit down on my Big Shot platform. It's not going to be face down though. This is a smooth edge here. And then you can see this one has the cutting edge, has the little ridge. I want the ridge up. So that's down. You want your ridge to face up. Okay? And then what we're going to do, we're going to put our cardstock in. Now this is a little cramped in here, so bear with me. I want this side to cut. I do not want this edge to cut. So my cutter is up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak my cardstock underneath there. I don't want that cutting. Okay? So I'm going to put that in. And then you'll notice, this is why we've cut this so exactly, is that this fits right in your framelit. And what you want to do is you want to nudge that right up against the edge so that it's straight, so that you have good straight lines for when you cut your two snowflakes. This is a great guide to make sure that there's no guesswork, so that fits right in along there. Okay, and if you feel here, you can feel where your snowflake ends, right there. Okay, so when I put my next plate down, I don't want my plate to cover this up. If it does, then it will leave a crease in this cardstock because the sandwich is the way it should be, so it's going to press down on that cardstock, and I don't want that. So I know my snowflake ends about here, so I'm going to go a little bit further so that I can make sure that all of this side cuts properly, but that there's no divot or dent or ridge on that other side. And other than that, it's the same as always with the Big Shot. And now that's going to bump the camera, so I'm going to move that a little bit. Okay, take the plate off. And you can see we've got some cutting going on, but we have no ridge here, which is lovely. So we'll take this and pop that out. And this is where you will begin to see why we did not put snail on the inside of this. Okay, so you've got your snowflake popping out on this side. I want the snowflake to pop out on this side too, so that it'll flip. And guess what? This isn't attached. Yay! So what you're going to do is fold in and then fold back on itself. It does all of the scoring and all of the cutting for you. So all you have to do is do your fold, and there's your snowflake. So let's do the next one. We're going to put this sandwich back in the same way we did before. We had our cardstock this way. We're going to flip it, and you'll see that that puts our snowflake on the opposite edge. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to sneak this underneath so that we don't cut it and we don't leave any kind of ridges or anything like that. And we are going to butt our cardstock right up against the edge. I think my cardstock's catching down here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So same as before, under this part, we're going to line it up right in here so we know all of our lines are straight. It's going to fit. We're going to find the edge of our snowflake, which is right here. So I'm going to go in a little bit further. We don't want this edge to cut. And we're going to send this through. Take the plates off and pop out that snowflake. And again, make sure this part of the snowflake comes out and not attached. Easy peasy for folding. There you have it. And there is your double snowflake card. Now the snowflakes overlap a little bit. If you're doing the circle, then they don't tend to. The label might overlap a little bit. I did a couple of those. The circles will just they'll be separate so you won't have any overlap there. But I liked the snowflake, and I didn't mind the overlap. I just decorated accordingly. See, there's my mountains. I want those right side up. There we have it. So let me show you some of the ones I've decorated. I've showed you the card fold. I've showed you how to get that all done on your Big Shot. These are a couple of the ones that we did. This is the one I did at Stamp Club with the ladies. And like I was saying, we stuck, our theme for the night was the Visions of Santa. The DSP, the stamp set, I brought along a few markers so that we could color everything. And they just went to town. We did the card folds, and then they were free to decorate and color and embellish as they like. So this is our large scallop, our 2 3/8 scallop punch, and our 2-inch circle punch. Use some of the snowflakes, and 'tis the season to be fancy. This is the snowflake from the Thinlit die. This guy right here. Use a bit of wax paper with it so it'll come out nice and clean. I tucked that in behind the moose and the long johns, and I put a little, I don't know if you can see that, put a little burr on the bottom. And then you could always take a circle and put that on the inside as well, or a piece of white, whisper white, or computer paper on the inside so that you can write your greeting. And these will stand up as well, so they're great to display. And then the one I brought with them to show them, so I did the trees so that they could see what that one would look like. But the one I brought to show them that was already finished was this guy with the mountains again. And I used the Marina Mist marker to color one of the Santas from the Visions of Santa. The snowflake again. Popped it up with a dimensional. And then 'tis the season to be fancy. Nice, naughty, or fabulous. And this time I ticked off naughty instead of fabulous. So you can embellish till your heart's content. You can put lots on the outside, you can put some more on the inside, back these snowflakes if you want, and away you go. So I hope you enjoyed the video tutorial. I hope you take this tutorial, play with it, make your own creations, not just for Christmas, but for any time of year, and can really turn these double Thinlit cards into something absolutely beautiful. Have fun and happy stamping!